to Brandon Sports here, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. We will be reviewing the Survivor Series for November 29th, 2025. Overall thoughts on the show was the aesthetic looked nice. That was the first thing. I always like the stadium shows, always like the aesthetic. I always want to see what is it going to be designed. Kind of like the same thing we've been getting, but it still looked nice just to be outside, especially for a Survivor Series pay-per-view or premium live event that's never been in the stadium. So it looked nice like it always does, but I just really wanted to see how it looked nice, especially being in San Diego, California. But overall, the aesthetic looked really, really great. And before the WarGames match started, I didn't know that they were not going to be in the cage. I guess this surprised everybody. They didn't put them in the cage this year. Everybody just had all their entrances. The overall feel for the show, I'll give it a grade at the end, but the overall consensus of the show was it was there for me. And I'll say this, the main event kind of really pushed it over the top for me. The first match, which we'll get into, wasn't really that great, but overall the show wasn't too bad. It was just there's certain things that need to be worked on when it comes to storylines and build. It could have been at least one more match in here, depending on where you want to go with it, but overall it was okay. So we're going to start off with the first match of the night, which was the Women's WarGames match, which I thought was okay, which we'll get into the deep dive of the match. But Charlotte Flair started off this match with Asuka, which was surprising because they just had a match on SmackDown, but it is what it is. Charlotte Flair starts the match with Asuka, they go back and forth, which is pretty good back and forth. The match doesn't really start until all the contestants are in the ring. Io Sky comes out with a trash can lid. Obviously, if anybody knows that she has the famous trash can spot, which I think is really, really great. So she comes out, she starts beating up Asuka with it. Then after she comes out, Becky Lynch comes out with her kendo sticks and started beating Io Sky with it. Then Bliss comes out. I can't say the A word because my thing will go off in the house. Bliss comes out next to help Charlotte Flair because Becky Lynch is just stomping on her face inside of the WarGames cage. Then Kairi Sane comes out next to the ring with the chain. Like I said, everything was a good back and forth. The match didn't really start until everybody came into the ring. I'm just breaking down who came in the ring. After that, AJ Lee is out next, which I thought they would give her the last one to get the pop, but I kind of realized that Rhea Ripley is going to get the biggest pop, even though I would have had AJ Lee come out last, but it's alright. Becky Lynch tried to keep AJ Lee out of the cage, but AJ Lee just said, I'm going to be the smart one. There's no lid on the cage, so she just climbed over it and just jumped over into the ring. And there was one thing that I noticed in this match. All of the heels started to jump AJ Lee, and when they started to jump AJ Lee, Kairi Sane jumps up like in the air and just takes her fist and starts punching down on AJ Lee, and I'm like, these punches do not look realistic. It was like too soft of a punch. Like, she's not even hitting her, and I know you have to suspend your disbelief, but she has to start making her punches look more, you could say, real, but she has to make it look more physically like, okay, I'm really hitting you, even though I'm not. I'm protecting you, obviously in the business, but it just didn't look right. And I was like, I'm just watching it. I'm like, I've noticed for weeks and weeks, and the way she wrestles, she's a great wrestler. I'm not going to disrespect her like that. But the way that she punches, it always irked me because I'm like, it just doesn't seem like she's hitting at all. Like, it just looks so weak. And it's not to call her weak. It's just the punches and moves that Kairi Sane does. It just doesn't look right. Then after that, the babyfaces come in and break it up. Everybody starts fighting. Nia Jax comes out. She obviously does her moves. Everybody comes out, gets to do their moves, gets to dominate the match, and then the next person will come out, which was Rhea Ripley. And of course, she got the biggest pop of the night. She came out, her ring gear looked great. She had a mask on, which looked really, really cool. I thought it looked cool. I know she likes to dress up and do stuff for certain events, so this was actually a really, really good look for Rhea Ripley. Now, this is the problem that I had. I have no problem with Lash Legend because I'm getting used to her because she was in NXT. I saw some things from NXT, but not everything because I don't watch NXT on a regular basis. However, the problem that I had with the Lash Legend coming out is that even if she's a heel, I still want the crowd to boo. Even if you don't know who she is or know really much about her, you know that she's with Nia Jax. You know that she's here on the heel team and she's the last one to come out. At least boo her. And I kind of looked at the company as making a big mistake by letting her come out last, but then I started thinking like, man, they're really giving her a spotlight to be the last one. So you have to take that. So they're giving her the spotlight to be the last one. The entrance music is okay. They might have to change it because I don't think people are feeling it, but it is what it is. She has a very, very demanding presence, which I like about Lash Legend. She looked really, really great in the ring. It was just the crowd reaction kind of upset me a little bit because I'm like, at least boo. Just try and boo. That's all I want you to do. Just boo. Even if you don't really know her, boo. She's a heel. She's on a heel team. They have the advantage, are the bad team. So she's going to come out and just boo. That's all I want you to do. is Boo. And I know it was her first main roster pay-per-view, so I'm not really holding on her. She did what she had to do. She looked demanding. Her and Rhea Ripley, look, she looks very, very tall as well. Even in the ring and on TV, Lash Legend looks tall. So I can just a picture in real life how tall she actually is. Her and Rhea Ripley had a great exchange one-on-one. I knew that they were going to do that because just how physically they both looked next to each other. I thought this was great one-on-one action before obviously everybody jumped in. But Lash Legend, she really, really showed out and had a good performance and showed that she's here to stay. I really liked her presentation. I just didn't like the crowd's reaction. They should have at least just boo. That's all I ask. Just boo her. Even if you don't know her, boo. She's on the bad team. So the War Games begins after Lash Legend comes in the ring. Now everything's going on. Asuka accidentally spits in Lash Legend's face, which I thought was a good thing just to take her out of the picture. After that, Io Sky does her infamous. She puts the trash can over her head. She jumps off of the cage and does a moonsault, which was a great spot. Always like that spot when Io Sky does that. Everybody gets knocked out except for Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch, after that, she's in shock. Tries to run out the cage, tries to climb the cage. Rhea Ripley grabs her, hits her with the riptide. After that, AJ Lee makes her tap out, and the match is over. The women win. Overall thoughts on this entire match, some key parts I just explained I liked. Other than that, it was okay, and the reason why it was okay, because of the story. It should have been more violence, and it seems like, I don't know what it is, like, it just seems it's a lot more slower inside the War Games matches with the women versus the men. I'm not trying to pit anybody up against each other, but it just seemed a little bit slower in the pacing and not enough, I guess you would say, violence for this type of match. I felt like it should have been more slamming into the cage, jumping off of the cage, just more things that I know that these women are capable of, and it just wasn't there. Something was lacking in this match that I did not like. Overall, I give it about like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It was just something was lacking. It wasn't horrible. Maybe it could be the worst one, but it wasn't terrible, terrible. It was just, if they would have added certain things, it would have made it even better. But it was a 5 out of 10. Really, like a 5 out of 10, I would give this match. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just okay. And it just felt like a regular cage match. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. It felt just like a regular cage match instead of War Games. When you think about War Games, you think about when William Regal says War Games with the bass in his voice and everybody's supposed to be excited. It just honestly felt like a steel cage match with just two rings and just more women. It just didn't feel, it didn't give you that War Games feel, but it was okay. Up next, we had John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, which I was surprised because I thought the match would be third on the card, but then I realized, I was like, man, if that match was the third, then they would have had Stephanie Valkyria versus Nikki Bella, and they would have had two women's matches back to back. I know they want to split it up: women's match, men's match, then the women's match, then the men's match would be last. It was 4 matches, so I was like, I kind of rethought about it after I did my preview and predictions. I was thinking about, man, they might have that match, but it was 2 back-to-back women's matches, which WWE wasn't going to do. So Dominic Mysterio makes his entrance. John Cena comes out next. It takes him some time to come out. Obviously, I think they, just building the momentum for him to come out. Now, in the match, pretty good start, solid start in the beginning. Now, there was a move where Dominic tried to do a flip outside of the ring, and he hit his arm. And when he hit his arm, he sold this so well. And he sold this so well because I thought he was just legitimately hurt. But then when they kind of waved in to bring in the medical team, it was not your typical medical team that looks like it. So, but anyway, throughout the whole entire process, Raquel Rodriguez hits John Cena with the finishing move. Obviously, the referee's not looking. Raquel Rodriguez hits the finishing move. Roxanne hits the finishing move. After that, Dominic Mysterio runs into the ring after he sees John Cena being prompted for the 619. Hits the 619, gets on the top rope, hits the frog splash. The referee refuses to count because of Dominic Mysterio faking his injury, which I don't know how to think about that, because it's like, as a referee, you're supposed to count, but I guess he was so mad that he didn't make the count. After that, he kicked Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne out of the match. Dom Mysterio, him and John Cena continue to have it back and forth. Dominic Mysterio, John Cena's trying to pull him off the rope. He pushes him off. After that, he zipped down his boot. John Cena wants to grab his boot. He rips the boot. He goes flying. After that, Dominic Mysterio again kicks John Cena, get him in a position for the 619, hits the frog splash. John Cena kicks out. After that, John Cena goes for an attitude adjustment. hits it, Dominic Mysterio kicks out. John Cena then goes for a shoulder bump after that, hit the referee. JD McDonough and Finn Balor came out. They tried to hit John Cena with moves off the top rope. John Cena countered JD. McDonough's flip off the top rope. Finn Balor tried to do his finish off the top rope. Countered that too. Hit them both in the corner. Puts both of them on his shoulders for basically a double AA, a super AA from the corner of the turnbuckle. After that, John Cena's laid out because he's just tired. Liv Morgan music hits. She comes out. She comes out to the ring. She gets into the ring. She slaps Dominic. She says something, "You're disgusting." She turns around to John Cena, jumps on his shoulders, and is hugging him. And then her face had a smile on her face, and then she just looked like she just turned into a zombie and was just staring blankly, like kind of like just like this into the like that, just into the camera. And after that, her facial expression changed. She got down, kicked John Cena below the belt, low blow. After that, John Cena gets pushed to the ropes again for the 619. Liv Morgan takes his title after he gets up from the 619, hits him in the head, frog splash, 1, 2, 3. Now, people are going to say this was overbooked. It wasn't overbooked for me because I thought they had to do this. John Cena's not, they're not going to put on a 5-star classic, but they had to do this to kind of get Liv Morgan's return going. She comes in, fakes like she's not going to help him, then she winds up helping him. I thought it was good for what it was. I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, just because it's John Cena, 7 out of 10. But it wasn't bad at all. It was good for what it was and what the match required for it to be. This was pretty good. At the end of the match, obviously, Dominic Mysterio is a new Intercontinental Champion. Raises the championship with Liv Morgan on his shoulders. Pyrotechnic goes off. After that, John Cena's in the ring. He takes a moment to just sit there and, take it in. Waves to the crowd. Come outside. He's talking to his little kid on the side. Then after that, he goes up the ramp. Then he does his final salute. Says he's got one more. He's talking to Stu, the cameraman, which this was just really, really nice. John Cena get a send-off. He had to lose because, like I said in my predictions, that they weren't going to put the Intercontinental Championship on him to keep him with the IC title to potentially face Gunther, which everybody thinks is going to be Gunther. That's his last match. But I truly, truly look at John Cena and say, what a professional. You put the guy over because he said, I want to win, but that's not what John Cena's about. He put Dominic Mysterio over, which is a really, really great thing for John to do. 2-time Intercontinental Champion for Dominic Mysterio. I thought this was good. 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 just because they came up with a creative way to get the belt off of John without him outright just losing. At least he lost because of so much interference and, being distracted and different things like that. I didn't really have a problem with it. Thought it was good for what it was. Shout out to John Cena. This was his last premium live event, pay-per-view. I still call it pay-per-views, but premium live event. This was John Cena's last one, so he's been in the company for over 20 years. It's been an honor to watch John Cena in the ring and compete, but I really thought this was a good way to, have John Cena lose his last PLE match. Next, we have Nikki Bella comes out. Now, Nikki Bella, she looks great, comes out, she's a heel, looks much more meaner, I would say. She makes her entrance, then Stephanie Valkyria makes the entrance, but before the music is fully over, Nikki Bella hits Stephanie Valkyria. Now, this back and forth was good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really come in with high expectations just because of the story and the lack of the build, but I thought this was really a good, solid match. There was nothing wrong with this match at all. Nikki Bella tried her best. This was a good match for me. A 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. It wasn't bad at all. I'll give it about a 6 out of 10. Not a 5, but I'll give it a 6. Which was actually nice about the match was Nikki Bella was very, very aggressive. You could tell she had a different energy about her. Stephanie Valkyria hits the devil kiss on the announce table, which was actually really, really good. After that, she hits a corkscrew from the top rope, pins Nikki Bella 1, 2, 3. A decent match. It was better than, like I said, better than what I thought that it was going to be. I like the fact that Nikki Bella showed a lot of aggression. I would like for Nikki Bella to do the same thing with the Women's Intercontinental Championship and go after Maxine Dupree. I think that would be good for Maxine Dupree and have a storyline with that. She's mad and upset that she lost to Stephanie Valkyria, so she would go after Maxine Dupree and give Maxine Dupree a little bit of a bump. I think that would work out best in Nikki Bella's favor. There were some spots in the match. I just want to say quickly that there was some spots in the match that they looked kind of confused, but overall they got it together. But there was some parts in the match where it looked like it kind of slowed up because they was trying to see, are you going to go first? Am I going to go first? But overall, it was still a good match. It was good for what it was. Good 6 out of 10 match. Had no problem with this match being on the pay-per-view card. Nikki Bella really showed aggression that now that she's a heel. Was fine with it. Now, there was one part of the show where I was kind of like scratching my head a little bit. So they announced 46,000 people were at the Survivor Series, And Wade Barrett lied on commentary and said the crowd was loud and that he couldn't hear with his headset on. I'm reading that. That was a quote that he said. In my opinion, this crowd was very, very lackluster. I get it. The show didn't live up to the hype that everybody thought it would for the 4 matches in total. I thought, which I'll give the grade at the end, I thought it wasn't a bad show. Did it live up to the hype? No. I feel like if the women's WarGames match at the beginning was hard hitting like I said it should have been, then it would have lived up to the hype because you had Dominic Mysterio's match, which was good to me. Stephanie Valkyria and Nikki Bella did what they were supposed to do in this match, given the limited build. I think the beginning match really kind of destroyed the card a little bit and kind of dampened expectations because it was like, man, if this match is going to look like this, what's the rest of the pay-per-view going to look like? Or premium live event going to look like? But I think the first match really kind of shot it down a little bit, which I'll get to that at the end. So, but the crowd, I was disappointed in the crowd because for a stadium show, they should have been louder, and I get it. But overall, you still got to bring the energy, even if it's lacking sometimes. It's Survivor Series, it's a premium live event. Just bring the energy a little bit. Just give me something throughout the entirety of the show. Now, in the main event, which we'll get to, they started to rev up. Now, for the main event, we had the men's WarGames match, which I was excited for. I told you guys in the review, I was excited for it. The other matches didn't really, get me the excitement as this one because this is just an all-star studded cast. And we're going to get to the breakdown. But overall, thoughts on it, it was just great. It was fantastic. Not really too much complaints about it, which we'll get to that, but not really much complaints about it. So first, we had CM Punk start the show right there. We got to stop for a second. I was shocked that he started. I thought they were going to do Jey Uso to start the match because everybody in the crowd, he could come through the crowd, he could do the yeet, all that stuff like that, get everybody ready. Like last year, he came out last, so he could yeet and do all the stuff. So it was just interesting to see that they had CM Punk. I was like, I think they're going to have Jey Uso come out first and everybody's going to yeet and have a good time and all sort of stuff like that. But no, CM Punk was the first one out. I'm surprised. I'm like, he's the world champion. Usually they say the champion's kind of like for last, kind of like that. Like a Roman Reigns, if he was champion, he would come out last. But this was really interesting for me. I'm glad CM Punk came out first because it was actually good to see him and the next person who came out, which was Braun Breaker. But I really thought Jey Uso was going to come out first. But this was actually really nice. So CM Punk, Braun Breaker's the second one to come out. Obviously the first one for his group. Then they have a really good back and forth. Really good back and forth. Braun Breaker just throwing CM Punk around. It was really great. They both had a standoff, was hitting each other, punching each other, getting into it. Braun Breaker just throwing him around. This was really, really good. Like I said in my preview predictions, that I wanted to see Braun Breaker showcased. He's the next guy up. He's the future of the company. You gotta showcase him, and that's exactly what they did on this show tonight. After that, obviously, the men have the advantage, so Drew McIntyre came out to give the heels advantage. This was good. This was very, very good. It was a nice 2-on-1 with Braun Breaker and Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. As soon as he got in there, he hit CM Punk with a Claymore, which I thought was funny. He hit him with a finisher and starts grabbing his hair and starts pulling his hair because obviously their history together, he was just so frustrated in that ring, and it looked really, really good when he hit with the Claymore, just started punching him, and then Braun Breaker started punching him. It was really, really fun. Now, Cody Rhodes is the second person out, which I'm shocked at this point. I'm like, you got two back-to-back world champions coming out. I thought they were going to do Jay, then Jimmy, then maybe Punk, Cody Rhodes, and then, Roman. But I'm like, you know what, this is good. You're showing that, okay, everybody else means something too. And so when CM Punk was out there first, shocked first. Now Cody Rhodes, like, I'm really shocked. Like, what's going on? So then Cody Rhodes comes out to help CM Punk. Drew McIntyre tries to keep him out of the cage. Now, this is the same thing Becky Lynch tried to do to AJ Lee. What did Cody Rhodes do? Went to the top of the cage, climbed just like AJ Lee did. And I just started laughing because I'm like, yo, that is really the smartest thing to do. He's trying to stop him from getting in the cage. And he just looks up and he starts climbing up. I'm like, okay, that is just smart. And you trying to stop him getting in the cage is going to amount to the same thing. But anyway, Cody Rhodes gets to the top of the cage. He jumps off, splashes Drew McIntyre from the top of the cage. After that, Cody Rhodes is standing tall, Braun Breaker's down, and then CM Punk tries to grab Cody Rhodes or attempts to try to talk to him or just pull his arm, and Cody Rhodes just hit him with a mean elbow, and I was like, damn, like, what's going on? Looked kind of awkward for a moment, but then he's like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I guess, the story telling is that he's kind of, like, super tense in this match, but nonetheless, they both get over it. Now, Cody Rhodes gets on the top rope. They put Braun Breaker up on Punk's shoulder. They do a doomsday device. And Braun Breaker hit his neck on that ring, and the way that it looked, I thought he was going to be out the match. I thought something serious was wrong. The way that he hit his neck on that ring apron, it was bad. Luckily, he survived the match and continued to go. Shout out to him because that looked so painful when his neck hit that ring like that. It was unbelievable. After that, Logan Paul comes out to help his team. He jumped over the top rope like a crossbody. He jumped over the ring. It's two rings. Logan Paul came in fighting. He jumped from one ring to the other ring. His athleticism is just unbelievable. I don't like the character of Logan Paul because obviously he's a heel. I'm more of a babyface guy myself. But man, he's just so athletic. I gotta give him his props and his credit. He really is taking on the craft of being a WWE superstar. So he gets an A+ for his performance from me. The way he jumps and his athleticism is just ridiculous. And he just jumped over and did a crossbody, which was amazing. It was simply amazing. I got it in my notes. That's why I'm looking down. It was just amazing what Logan Paul did in this match. Out next is Jimmy Uso. Comes out, hits Braun Breaker with the door. Gets the table, brings the table into the ring, super kicks everybody, and then all of a sudden you just see Jimmy Uso turn around, Claymore for Drew McIntyre. I thought this was great. Every time Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore, I just started laughing. Like, this is just great. It was just out of nowhere, kind of like Randy Orton's RK out of nowhere. His Claymore just out of nowhere. You didn't know he was going to hit it, but as soon as Jimmy just turned around, boom, Claymore right there. It was fantastic for me. Thought the match so far, this was actually my thoughts was it was well-paced. It was well-paced for some reason. It was like nothing was just lacking from this match compared to the women's match. And I don't like comparing, but if you have to compare, it was just more physical. The pacing was fast. It just seemed like they was like, hey, we're going to get to it. We're going to liven this crowd up, and we're going to get to it. And everything that they was doing was just fine by me. After that, Bronson Reed comes out. As soon as he comes out, hits CM Punk with a tsunami. I started laughing again because I'm like, that's the smartest thing to do. Everybody's laying down. The first thing he does is hit CM Punk with a tsunami. Then he hits Jimmy Uso with a tsunami. Then he hits Cody Rhodes with another tsunami. I was just laughing. I just started laughing the whole entire time because I'm just like, this is just amazing. Like, he's smart enough to realize, okay, we're at an advantage here. I'm going to hit everybody with a tsunami because they're not going to be able to recover fast from it. It was amazing. It was great. I started laughing the whole entire time because I'm just like, man, this is really, really good. And then the commentators, Wade Barrett and Michael Cole, is just yelling, tsunami, just yelling and yelling. I'm just like, yo, I just couldn't. I don't know why I just laughed, but it was funny to me. After that, Jey Uso is out next. Comes out, hit everybody with his yeet slaps. I told you, he slaps them, puts his hand in the air like The Rock, spits on his hand, and slaps him again. After that, hits everybody with a super kick. Jimmy and Jey Uso hit Logan Paul with a 1D. Now, this is the part of the match where I was like, are they gonna, I wasn't thinking about it, but Jey Uso does the, rewind it, run it back. Basically, his interest to run it back, because I kind of felt like he didn't. That's why I thought he was going to start the match, because he didn't get the entrance that I thought he was going to get. But in the middle of the cage match, he goes run it back. He's telling the camera, telling people backstage, hit his music, and then they hit his music, and then everybody's eating in the crowd, and everybody's waving their hands, and just everybody's having a good time. And I know people get sick of him doing that, but it was good for this moment. But it was perfect for the follow-up because everybody's yeeting, have a good time, and CM Punk has a chair, look like he's playing the guitar with the chair, and Jimmy Uso's yeeting, and Cody Rhodes just standing there like, everybody, and then CM Punk hitting the guy with the chair. Everybody looked like everybody's having a good time, and then all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's music hit. I was like, oh, this is perfect. As soon as Brock Lesnar's music hit, I was like, this is perfect the way they did this. It was great execution, because I'm like, everybody's having a good time, and then you hear Brock Lesnar's music hit, and it's like, oh my God, the Beast, like, Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar's here. I thought that was amazing. Whoever thought about that? To hit Brock Lesnar's music while everybody's eating in the crowd having a good time. Because honestly, not a lot of people like Brock Lesnar. But just for them, whoever did that backstage, A+ to them, because that was just very, very smart. I was just laughing. As soon as Brock Lesnar's music hit, I started laughing because I'm like, this is just, it was beautiful. Whoever thought about that, kudos to you. It was fantastic. It was great. So he comes out with Paul Heyman. He gets inside the ring and starts hitting everybody with suplexes. It was just amazing to me. That whole entire sequence from the Jey Uso's music playing to Brock Lesnar, it was amazing. This was just amazing. So he hits everybody with suplexes. They hit him with F5s. He just comes out and wrecks shop. He wrecks everybody. Leaves everybody on the ground. He's flexing, taunting, whatever the case may be, showboating, and he's just in the ring. He just starts smiling. I'm like, man, this is great so far. The entire match so far to me is great. Then out next is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' music hits. Huge pop from the crowd. Brock Lesnar exits the cage, which was a good loophole because the bell didn't ring yet. Once the bell rings, you can't leave the cage or you're forfeit for the team. So Brock Lesnar comes out of the cage. Him and Roman Reigns going back and forth. Roman Reigns, Superman punch, boom. Superman punch again. He goes for a third one, tries to Superman punch him, gets caught in the air, F5 on the announce table. This was great. Whoever booked this match, whoever was in charge of booking this match gets an A+ from me. This was a great thing for them to do to show some action on the outside before they got back into the ring. Fantastic whoever thought about having Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar fight outside the ring. That was great. After they get in the ring, Roman Reigns gets hit with another F5 for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is going for the pin. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk break up the pin. CM Punk hits the GTS on Brock Lesnar. Then Brock Lesnar gets hit with a crossroads by Cody Rhodes. Logan Paul gets his brass knuckles from Paul Heyman. He gives him through the cage. He just slips it through the cage. He gets it. Roman Reigns runs and hits him with a spear. Roman Reigns takes the brass knuckles off of Logan Paul's hand. He's looking because he knows Paul Heyman gave it to him, so he looks furious. He's just mad as I don't know what. After that, Roman Reigns hits everybody with a spear. He takes the brass knuckles. He starts Superman punching people with the brass knuckles, which is a very, very smart thing to do. Superman punches the brass knuckles. Roman spears Brock through the table because Brock Lesnar is being picked up by Jey Uso. He's saying, do it. And then Brock Lesnar's about to give him F5. Roman Reigns spears through the table. Perfect sequence and a perfect setup by Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Now, this is where it gets awkward. Because throughout the match, like I said, good back and forth. Everybody's fighting. And now a lot of people are down. But now Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Logan Paul in the other ring, and they're going back and forth. He's about to hit him with a GTS, and then somebody runs up the cage. And CM Punk's like sitting there with a curious look on his face, and all of a sudden kick to CM Punk's face, hit the curb stomp just like Seth Rollins. But everybody knows that it's not Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is injured. The person runs up the cage, gets out of the cage, leaves the cage. After that, Braun Breaker takes off his singlet, runs back and forth, spears CM Punk, pins him 1, 2, 3. The match is over. I want to say whoever booked this match, excellent. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, the match is over. It was fantastic whoever booked this match. This match right here saved this entire show. It was one of the best WarGames matches for the men I've seen. This was great. This was fantastic. So after that, the match is over. After that happens, the match is over. Obviously, 1, 2, 3, the heels stand. They all raise each other's hand. The pyrotechnic goes off. They all go to the back. Roman Reigns picks up CM Punk. Cody Rhodes is kind of hesitant. He doesn't. Roman Reigns extends his hand for Cody Rhodes to pick him up, but he just gets up. He's just angry now. I don't know what the tension is, but Roman Reigns exit. The crowd starts to boo because they think something's going to go on. I'm like, you guys are not going to get it. Just like last year, you guys thought something was going to happen. You're not going to get it right now. They're going to save it to build the story. So I knew nothing was going to happen. I thought, obviously you curious think something's going to happen, but after I was like, nah, they're probably going to save it for the build for another match or whatever the case may be. So Roman Reigns getting ready to leave. Roman Reigns says to Cody Rhodes, hey man, we're never going to team up again. Never want to team with you again. He was like, all right, talking back and forth. And then the show goes off the air. But overall, for this entire show, the men's WarGames match was really great. This all-star, lack of story kind of, but it was just, for me, it was great. Whoever booked this entire match deserves to get an A+. They deserve a bonus. This was fantastic. I loved every moment of this WarGames match. There was nothing that didn't disappoint. Now, the ending you could say between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns was disappointing, but I'm not counting that because the match was already over. But the show ended or whatever the case may be, but this was just great. Whoever booked this, again, I keep repeating myself, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. Fantastic. Whoever booked it, just great. Excellent work with this WarGames match. All-star studded. I thought it was great. And I'll give this show, because this WarGames match is so great, I'll give it a B- to end my review. This show is a B-, and I give it a B-, not a B+, because there was some things that were lacking. Could have been another match, like I said earlier. But this was a B- because of that men's WarGames match. If you did not get to see and you watch my review, make sure you go and watch this men's WarGames match. It was fantastic. Even better than what I could describe. I try my best to describe most of the stuff that happened, but this was great. Violent CM Punk was bleeding in the match, by the way. Cody Rhodes was busted open on his eye. Jey Uso did a great job. I thought everybody did a great job. This was just, I just can't compliment this enough. This was fantastic. If you enjoyed my review, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please let me know your thoughts about Survivor Series and what you'd have done differently, what you would have booked differently, how you felt about the show overall. Let me know. I'll definitely read the comments and get back to everybody. I want to say thank you for watching. I'll be back with more WWE content this upcoming Monday. I'll have my Monday Night Raw review. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more great content. Until next time, see you all soon.